Yo, it's Marty VR, and today we're talking about the PSVR2. So, as you guys know, in the past, I've been very critical of the PSVR2, and I'm always going to be critical of any headset that I'm pretty much investing in terms of VR. So, I've been critical of Meta, I've been critical of Sony, I'm critical of Valve. I got smoke for everybody, so I'm wearing a hoodie. It's hoodie up type. It's one of them type of videos, so we really get into it. Overall, we've had some pretty cool games to come out on the PSVR2, like Gran Turismo 7, RE4, RE8. We got Synapse. There's been like some really good titles at the PSVR2. But I have a lot of issues with the platform and ecosystem as of right now. And we're going to talk about it, man. There's a lot of things I want to see for Sony in terms of next year, 2024, that has to be addressed right now. Just a quick disclaimer, I am a person who has about 6 VR headsets, 4 of them being Meta, PSVR2, Valve Index, so 6 in total. So I am a person who has experienced multiple ecosystems of VR. So obviously, I'm gonna be a bit biased in terms of explaining what I want because I've experienced other platforms. Some of you guys have not experienced other platforms, and I get that. And so I'm gonna tell you what you've been missing out on in terms of Sony support for the PSVR2. I also want to say, look at this video with an open mind. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been making PSVR content for a few months now. Some of y'all are fanboys, but it's okay. It's okay. I can deal with that. Okay, maybe not. But just give me a chance to explain, listen to the video fully, then we can debate in the comments later. With that being said, let's get into my first reason. The first thing I need from Sony in 2024 for the PSVR2 is UI changes. Now, the PSVR2 has not got a meaningful update since really I got it in terms of UI. The PSVR2 has the worst UI out of all the VR headsets that I own, hands down. The Quest has an actual updated UI that gets updated down there every month. Steam VR just got a brand new remake and remodel, consistently somewhat gets updated. The PSVR2, the only screen that you see in the PSVR2 in terms of your home menu is just a box with a black background. The only way you can move it is by pressing and holding down the option button on your controller. It's not good. It's not good at all. I'm personally very disappointed with Sony that they have not put out any type of just user experience. I'm a software developer myself. I usually do websites, I do back end, front end, I do a lot of development. Creating a good user experience is great for any customer. Sony definitely seems to have dropped the ball with this, honestly, in general, for even the PS5. But for the PSVR2, there really should be a separate UI for the PSVR2. There should be a separation of VR games, flat games. Just so I don't have to do all this crazy searching and stuff just to get to my PSVR2 games, because it makes it annoying. Also, the fact you can't resize the home screen is terrible. Like, we should be able to move the home screen around. There's people who want to do other stuff on their PSVR2 other than gaming. Now, a lot of you guys are like,
it's good enough.
I mean, that's an opinion. But personally, if I'm paying $600, I kind of want, a supported headset. To be quite honest with you. So with that being said, in 2024, I need UI update. I need a meaningful update for this headset, because I can't tell you the last time the PSVR2 got an update that was even worth making a video about, worth talking about, or worth even just mentioning in passing. It's been a while. So Sony, do better. Next, we gotta talk about the refund policy. Oh my God. I'm getting close because this one really pisses me off. Sony, what are we doing? These VR games are expensive. They're like $30, $40 a pop for the newer ones that are, kind of hot. Sometimes $25. It's a lot of money. Now, some people was like, $25 ain't a lot of money. Well, I make pretty good money. Even I think, damn, that's a lot. In 2024, and this is just general PlayStation stuff, honestly, but for PSVR, we definitely need some type of leniency on refund policies. A lot of these games, the way they come out, and trust me, I know, because I reviewed a lot of the flops that came out this year. If you look at most of the reviews on my channel, a lot of them are negative. And then for PSVR2, Firewall, Crossfire. I didn't review this one. Green Hell. Switchback. And these are just 4. I got one last one. Hell Sweeper. I need some leniency. That's at least over $100 of money wasted day one. Now, there's a caveat here. A lot of those games have gotten updates and are a lot better now than they were at launch. But if you're gonna keep having these developers rush their games, I need some type of get back. I'm not gonna lie. I need some refund. I need a refund policy. I need some more demos. If you're not gonna change the store policy, I need you to give developers more time so they can make demos. And I need you to fund them more so they can make more demos. So I can actually try out some of these VR games before I buy them. Because when you're buying a PSVR2 game, it is an investment because you're not getting that money back. Unless you say somebody hacked my card. And a lot of times that might not work with Sony. It's greedy bastards, not gonna lie when it comes to that. So you gotta change that because it's making people not want to buy PSVR2 games because they can't refund them. Now, a review can tell you a lot of things. I do a lot of reviews. They can tell you a lot of things, if the game is good or not, XYZ. But sometimes you won't know if a VR game is good until you play it. Like some people probably thought, oh, Gran Turismo might be a good game. People like it, right? But they might not even like the racing part of it, which is the whole game. So they might even like the whole game. Some people just don't like racing games like that. So might not be their cup of tea, but they can't refund it. $60 game, $50 game, maybe 40 now, but you know, after it's been some time. But the point is we need leniency. We need that in 2024. It's been long enough. Meta has a refund policy. Steam has a refund policy. A lot of these other stores got refund policies. Not sure about Xbox because I got Game Pass, but I don't really deal with that, to be honest with you. But point is, you understand what I'm saying. Next, let's talk about AAA games. We need way more AAA games in 2024. To be honest with you, since the PSVR2 offers nothing else but gaming is what's gonna have to sell this headset. And AAA gaming is what sells VR headsets. Games like Half-Life Alyx, games like Gran Turismo, games like RE4. They sell a lot of these headsets, guys, when it comes to gaming. Sony has to bring some of those classic Sony titles to VR. Killzone, Little Big Planet, PlayStation Home, which I'm gonna bring back up again later. There's a lot of these classic titles that Sony has that will be amazing in VR. To bring in Bulletstorm to VR. That's one of those titles that is like gonna be great for a VR game because it fits perfectly in the medium. I know Sony has seen the success of RE8's VR mode or RE4 VR mode. Now, technically a lot of people who play RE4 probably not gonna touch that VR mode. I saw a post that Gamertag made and they had the statistics. 0.9% of the people that play RE4 played with a VR headset. Now, I don't know if you guys know any math or numbers, but 0.9, that's a small amount. We gotta up that number. That's legitimately the hottest. That might be the hottest VR game for the PSVR2 this year, debatably. Now that's very debatable, very debatable. I mean, some people don't even know that RE8 has a VR mode. They don't know that Gran Turismo has a VR mode. They don't know that Horizon Call of the Mountain actually came out. They don't know about a lot of these other VR games from smaller studios. I'm just saying. A lot of my homies who don't have VR headsets or barely know anything about PSVR2, who are PlayStationers, they think RE4 was like the biggest title and the only title for the PSVR2 of any note this whole year. It's a lot of games that came out this year. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's really not good. That's not selling the headset. So you're gonna need those big titles to come to PSVR2 if you're not gonna have anything else outside of gaming. Now, this brings me to my next topic, which is marketing. Marketing for the PSVR2 is bunzos. The only game that most people who aren't PSVR heads know about, it's like I said, RE4. It's RE4. That's PSVR2 had no presence at State of Plays, any of the Sony conferences. Nobody knows anything that's come out for the PSVR2 in terms of general public, other than the people who have the PSVR headset. There's no presence. Like, and I gotta use them as an example, and you're gonna hate me for using this, but Meta has presence in terms of marketing. They have viral clips of mixed reality going out. They have viral clips of Assassin's Creed Nexus, Asgard's Wrath 2. Even Sniper Elite had a little bit of a flame, even though the game was terrible, I'm not gonna lie. But it's like these games that have big names, big AAA names, they're really using them to sell their headsets. What is Sony using to sell the PSVR2? 2024, I need billboards. I need you working with content creators to actually sell your headset. We need a state of play dedicated to PSVR2. It doesn't have to be long. It can be like 20, 30 minutes, but you need a state of play dedicated to VR. Showcase your games that came out, showcase Synapse, because that's one of the greatest games on the PSVR2. No coverage, none at all. And it uses the actual eye track. It's the only game that I have played, I think, in my whole like VR gaming career that actually uses the eye tracking as the main mechanic. That's amazing. That's some cool shit. Use it. And this is like one of those kind of ranty videos if you haven't noticed. And it's just really annoying, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's really annoying. Because I actually like the PSVR2, guys. A lot of my channel is PSVR2 shit. My biggest video is PSVR2. I wanna be able to tell my friends, hey, yeah, buy this headset because it has this game, this game, this game, and this game. But I can't tell them that because it doesn't have a lot of the games that they're looking for, and they don't see it anywhere. Even with like the Quest, you see the Quest everywhere. Like you hear Oculus, you hear these different terms. You hear Valve Index, Half-Life Alyx, you hear these different terms that are associated with both of those brands. The PSVR2 has no games that are associated with, like big games that are associated with the brand other than the RE4, but that's a flat game. Technically, it damn near doesn't even count. So it's like what are we doing? And it's ironic because you guys see these big content creators, these like Pokeball PSVR2 things, and a lot of them haven't made PSVR2 videos in months since it dropped. A lot of people made the initial review the 6 months later and have not covered it outside of that. So you guys need to work with content creators that actually push the headset. So with that being said, Sony, step up the marketing. You guys are gonna need it. You're competing with some titans, and more people are coming into the VR, MR, XR space. So you better tighten up or you're gonna lose your spot. One last thing I gotta mention, I just thought about this in post editing. And this is the craziest way I've heard somebody talk about their newest piece of technology. Now, one of the CEOs, or I forget the name, I can't remember the name on top of my head, mentioned the PSVR2 and said it is not a priority for Sony. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing? You put out a new piece of technology. My mother handed $600 of technology. The PSVR2 is $549, if I remember correctly. About the same price as the Quest 3. Yeah, it's about that price. You put out this new piece of technology in February, late February, really March. And you're gonna tell the people who have your piece of technology and people looking for your piece of technology is not a priority? What the fuck are we? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What is this? Like, are y'all high? Like, what are y'all doing? You really gonna tell people who just invested $600, maybe people who didn't even have PS5, got a PS5 for like $500, $600, $400, $500, $600, upwards of $1,000 invested overall. You're gonna tell them that their newest piece of technology is not a priority for them, for Sony? It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, Sony, man, you guys suck at marketing for the PSVR. That's it. We're moving on. All right, next, guys, talk about social experiences. Social experiences are very important for VR. I'm talking about VR chat, rec room. There's a bunch of them you can really list out. The PSVR2 needs a social experience. I mean, a headset with really good eye tracking, not having something like VR chat or Rec Room is insane. Even PlayStation Home can be brought back. I don't know how you would do it. It's not my job to figure out. But at least in 2024, let's get an announcement or even like acknowledgement that, okay, we hear you guys, we're gonna give you a social experience at some point. And that's a bummer because, I mean, I wanna recommend the headset to people, but like, if somebody plays VR chat most of their VR gaming life, then they're never gonna get a PSVR2. And those people who will spend some money for some headsets, you feel me? So they spend some money on headsets. So they need something in 2024, 2025 for social VR. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, and this is a take. Is it a smart take? To me personally, no. People say you shouldn't spend that much time in VR, and that's fair. That's fair. That's cool. Whatever. But I'm gonna be honest with you, most of these companies selling you headsets, they would not be mad if you had your headset on 24/7. Like these people who sell these headsets, they want you to stay in your headset as long as possible. Get use of it, pay more, pay for games, pay for experiences, invest more money to their ecosystem. Duh. So 2024, more social stuff. Next, we're gonna talk about the PSVR1 library being brought to the PSVR2. Now, I brought this up before in my last video where I addressed, kind of my general problems with PSVR2, but it's kind of still a problem. Now, this is one of those things where it takes time. Now, a lot of these developers, if you guys did not know, they get these dev kits for these new consoles, new headsets really late. That's why you really won't see a lot of newer stuff, crazy stuff that really utilizes the system until a few years down the line because they had time to work with the developer kits. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those situations where Sony's at fault. Yeah, actually Sony's at fault here. Actually push developers to move their games from the PSVR1 to the PSVR2. There's a lot of golden experiences that I personally never even got to play because I didn't have PSVR1. I couldn't afford it back in the day. Sue me. I would love to be able to play Rush of Blood, even the original Firewall. I would just love to be able to go back and play those games. I mean, they are also, older VR experiences, but some of them are still pretty good. Like even like Frag, I never got to play Frag. That was like one of those games I always wanted to play, but it's locked away on PSVR1. So Sony, in 2024, at least give us kind of like a general roadmap of PSVR1 games being brought back to life on the PSVR2. To be honest with you, I'm not buying a PSVR1 to play PSVR1 games because it's old as hell VR. I'm not trying to go back to that. So that's why I need you guys to give us something. Give us some of those oldies, those classics. At least the bigger ones. Not all of them have to be brought back, obviously, but at least give us like the classics, the hits, the PlayStation hits. Next, and this is one of the biggest things that I have an issue with the PSVR2, and this is the flops. Now, this is a lot of games. We have a lot of games this year that flopped on the PSVR2 originally. And I'll be honest with you, you guys need to give these developers more time to put their games out. Like I said before, most of my reviews on this channel have been negative. I usually play a lot of these games day one, trying to get content out, trying to get my first impression of the game out. A lot of times it wasn't good. Firewall Ultra, whew, that was a rough one. That game probably needed 2 or 3 more months in the oven to cook. Crossfire, debatable. Crossfire is debatable. Green Hell, needed more time. Hell Sweeper, hell yeah, needed more time. Needed way more time to bake. There's just a lot of these games that came out. Oh my God, No Man's Sky. Love it to death now, but that original release of No Man's Sky was unacceptable, man. Even though a lot of people do own No Man's Sky already, but even for me, that's my first time buying it on PlayStation to play that. Like, come on, man. Switchback, another one. These developers need more time, so I need to give them more time because a lot of these developers for VR only get one good first impression. And once that first impression goes, a lot of people will not come back to that game. And I'm gonna tell you why. Firewall Ultra. A lot of people played that original release, never came back to it. Went back to Pavlov or any other shooters on PSVR2 and stayed there. Because what incentive is there to come back after a company has kind of burned you? So like First Contact, their next game is gonna be heavily scrutinized because of the PSVR2 release. It sucks because it might not even be their fault, to be honest with you, but that's how it goes when it comes to game development. So without being a dead horse, give these developers more time so we can actually have good PSVR2 releases, because that's one of the main things that really got marketed to a lot of the other VR communities. People on the Quest side looking into PSVR2, see games flopping left and right. It's not a good sign. A lot of big content creators looking at PSVR2, seeing flops left and right. It's not a good sign. Terrible marketing. Like, honestly, there's been more bad marketing for the PSVR2 this year than good marketing. So you gotta get it right. You gotta get it right. You guys are too big of a company to be having your people go out like that. So give them more time, help them out, do what you gotta do. Next topic is figure out a way to get the PSVR2 on PC. Now, this is gonna upset a lot of you guys. Hear me out. Please hear me out. The main thing that is important for a VR headset is being multifaceted. So obviously a PC VR headset is gonna be used for what? Class. PC VR. Yes, a PC. A Quest headset can be used for what? Standalone PC. 2 different platforms. Now the PSVR is locked to the PS5. Is that a bad thing? No. Yes. No and yes. It's a little bit of both. There's a lot of people on the PC VR side who wanted to buy a PSVR2 to use on their PC and PS5. So it being multi-platform would have sold a lot more PSVR2s. Just saying. And I would love to use the PSVR2 as a PC VR headset. Sony really could release the drivers and stuff like that to be able for it to work with Steam VR. It doesn't dilute the market, and it actually promotes PC VR and PSVR usage kind of combining. That would be great. Now our last topic, and this kind of is the biggest one where I want to end off on. I need openness of support. You guys gotta give us a roadmap. We need to know what's gonna be the future of this headset. We need to know what you guys are planning. We need to know if you guys are gonna be in this like 2 years from now. Because right now it's like Sony does not give a fuck. Like at all. And it's kind of jarring going from platform to platform to platform and just seeing just the lack of nothing from Sony. Guys, this is a $500 headset. I wanna know what's gonna be used for in like a year or two. Like I wanna know what you guys are actually planning to do with this piece of tech. Because the PSVR is a really good headset, guys. It has some reprojection issues, some mirror a little bit. But the overall ecosystem, the actual usage of it is really cool. It's the haptics in this thing and the headset, fire. That's why I love the PSVR2, because it's like immersive as hell, and the FOV is great. But Sony, we need a roadmap. I mean, even like Meta, they're trying to conquer this shit. Steam VR is moving more towards cloud, PC VR streaming. We know this. PSVR2 is moving towards what? More games, I guess. I guess, right? All right, guys, with everything we covered in this video, I think it's finally time to wrap it up. Please take everything I said in this video with a grain of salt and actually really think about everything that I've said. Make your own opinion. Obviously, a lot of you guys are gonna have your own opinion. That's totally fine. We can have a discussion. If I was wrong about something, I don't mind admitting it. It usually comes with being a content creator. Some things you can be right about, some things you're not gonna be right about. There's also multiple perspectives of all this stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Let's have civil discussions in the comments. Make sure you check out the accessories video I got for the PSVR2. Some really good stuff in there, especially if you get one for Christmas or you really just want some good accessories. With that being said, with Mardu VR, and remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.